Today I want to do a video all about my red hair and how to upkeep red hair and keep it vibrant without having to dye it all the time. Now, since I did a video about how I dye my hair and what products I use, it's become a very popular question for me to show you guys how to keep it red. So I'm just going to go over a few products I use today and a few tips and tricks on how to keep your red hair looking vibrant at all times. The biggest reason that people don't like having red hair is because it is the hardest hair color to upkeep, but it's so pretty. But a lot of people who have red hair, they change their hair color just because it's so much work. But if you want to keep your red hair and keep it looking vibrant, there's definitely a few tips and tricks I have for you today. So a little background about my hair. I've been dyeing my hair red since I was 12. I'm going to be 22 this year, so it's been quite a while. For the most part, I've been dyeing it myself, and I found my own way of doing it. That means I also had to find my own way of keeping it red, and there's definitely some things I've noticed over the years. So the first thing is to wash your hair less. Now, if you dye your hair any color, you're going to want to wash your hair less just because it's going to strip the color a lot quicker and make it fade, and then you'll have to add color to it to keep that vibrancy going that you're looking for. Now, honestly, I would say if you really want to keep your hair color lasting, try to wash your hair only once or twice a week. I know that can sound really gross, but the natural oils of your hair are actually really good for your hair dye anyway, and that goes along with when you dye your hair, you want your hair to be dirty so the color sticks to it more. And when your roots get oily, it helps to heal the hair follicles to keep your hair strong and healthy. And so a little oil is never bad. If you have super oily hair, you can of course always use dry shampoo. You can also combat this by wearing your hair up in a messy bun or just up in general. It'll help to keep your hair feeling cleaner and just not so gross all the time. It's just a good way to, prolong it. Remember, this is if you really want to make the color last. You got to take a few extra precautions and a few extra steps that you wouldn't normally if you want that Ariel red to keep popping. Now, the next thing about having red hair that a lot of people don't talk about and this is often a deal breaker, is that you have to wash your hair with cold water. Honestly, as cold as you can stand it. This is because hot water will fade the color and wash it out a lot quicker. It pulls it out of your hair way faster. And so if you wash your hair with really hot water, even 2 or 3 times, your hair is going to be extremely faded and brassy. But if you wash with cold water and just soak it through with cold water, you're going to notice a lot less color comes out when it's going down the drain. And this will help to keep the color in your hair longer, and it'll also keep it looking a lot more vibrant. The next one is you're going to want to use a sulfate-free shampoo. Sulfates aren't very good for your hair in general, but they tend to strip the color of your hair and go against people with dyed hair in particular. And so when you buy shampoo, just look on the bottle and see if it says sulfate. If it does, don't get that one. You don't want anything with sulfates. That goes for shampoo and conditioner. You just want to make sure no matter what there's no sulfates in it, otherwise you're going to be stripping your hair a lot quicker than you normally would without even knowing it. Next, you're going to want to use a shampoo or conditioner that adds color back to your hair. So I've used many over the years, but the ones that I've been using the last few years, because these last forever, are these two. Super good. I don't want to put any in my hand right now, but basically it's straight up red color in there. And don't mistake this as dyeing. This doesn't dye your hair, but it helps to add color back to it. So it's kind of like a hair color refresh, just a simple thing to throw in your hair in the shower. And what I typically tend to do is I use a deep conditioner whenever I wash my hair, so usually once or twice a week. And when I'm doing the deep conditioning treatment, I'll throw the red in there so that I can let it sit for a while. So usually when I deep condition my hair, I leave it on for at least 40 minutes, but sometimes up to an hour or two, depending on how much deep conditioning I feel like my hair needs. And I just really like to make sure it's super healthy. And so I leave it on as long as I can, and I'll leave the red in there as well. That really helps it to stick. I can tell you guys that there's been times where I haven't dyed my hair in a while, but I've used this shampoo and then I've seen friends or family and they ask me, "Whoa, did you dye your hair?" Because it does make a big difference. It really makes it pop a lot more, and it makes it a lot more vibrant, especially in the sun. And I just got these at Sally's. I think they were like 25 bucks each, but that's because they're so big. So I mean, these last a long time. I've had these for probably 3 years, just because it doesn't take a lot to add it to your hair. And then on to the deep conditioning that I use. This isn't typically the one I use, but this is what I'm using right now because I couldn't get my hands on the other one. This one is really good. I love this brand because on the back it always tells you 0 sulfates and just what's not in it, so it makes it a lot easier. Anything with Coconut that doesn't have sulfates is going to be your best friend. Anything with oils like argan oil and stuff like that, you want natural things in your hair that are going to relieve your hair and boost its strength. But the next thing is keep your red hair out of the sun. Now, I know this can be hard in the summer especially, and it's okay, it happens, it's normal, but this is just one of those things I wanted to mention. Sitting out in the sun will fade your hair a lot quicker. You'll probably notice if you dye it in the summer and you're out tanning a lot or you're at the beach, you'll notice the color will start to fade a lot quicker, and you'll probably wonder why. It's just because of the sun, and it's okay. This isn't the end of the world. It's good to get sun. It's good for you. It's good for your hair, but it does strip your hair over time. So that's just something I wanted to throw in there. The next one is to use less heat. Now, of course, these aren't good for our hair anyway. They dry them out and they damage our hair greatly, so it's good to not use them anyway. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you got a fancy date. Sometimes you just don't want to have the witch hair going on, and it's understandable. But the more you use your hair straightener or curler or anything like that, it's going to damage your hair. Not only because your hair is already super sensitive from dyeing it, the ends get really brittle and they'll probably break off, but it will also fade your hair. Applying heat to your hair isn't color friendly. It tends to strip it out kind of like the sun does, and it's just more damaging to it, so it just puts it under a lot of pressure, so it's just best to avoid it overall. And the last thing I want to mention is when you dye your hair, try to just stick to the roots when you're doing touch-ups instead of dyeing all your hair. So it'll just improve the quality of your hair overall. If you're always dyeing your hair when you need to do touch-ups on just your roots, it's going to damage your hair a lot more, especially if you're using any products that have pre-bleaching to it. And so definitely try to stick to the roots, because using the shampoos will add the color to your red already, so that'll help keep that vibrant, and then you can just touch up the roots and you're good to go. But that is my video, guys. Just wanted to give you a few tips and tricks that I follow religiously for keeping my hair red. I probably only dye my hair once every 2 or 3 months, depending on how long I'm gonna give my hair a break and just, you know, what kind of mood I'm in. I try to last a lot longer. I try to last longer just so my hair can have a break and just be healthier. But if you're all about keeping your hair red all the time, then these tips will definitely help you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you later, and I'll definitely be making some more red hair videos in the future, so stick around, and yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you later.